watchers, let's first introduce our officials for the game. First referee, Erlindo Eusebio, national referee. And our second referee, Rene Gaspillo, national referee. And now let's hear you cheer for your starters. First, from the Far Eastern University, Lady Tamaraws. Number 2, Laika Ebon. Number 4, Heather Ginoo. Number 12, Kyle Negrito. Number 13, Celine Domingo. And their captain, number 15, Jeremy Malabana. Number 18, Jeanette Villarreal. And their libero, number 5, Buding Duremdes. Head coach, George Pascua. And for their opponents, the DLSU Lady Spikers. Number 5, Des Clemente. Number 6, Michelle Cobb. Number 7, May Luna. Number 8, Jolina De La Cruz. Number 13, Aduke Ogunsanya. And number 15, Ting Jamson. For their libero, number 12, CJ Saga. And their head coach, Ramil De Jesus. Number 2 versus number 3.
You're looking at the starters of the FEU Lady Tamaraws. No changes for the lineup of Coach George Pascua, still going with the same unit that has won him the last 3 matches in the UAAP. While the question about Desiree Cheng has been answered. You mentioned that she was warming up, she was spiking the ball, going through the regular routine, but she is still not going to start today. Tin Tiamzon is back in the starting lineup for the 2nd straight match for LaSalle. Maybe later on we will get an update on the health of Desiree Cheng from Ayana Perlas, so stay tuned for that. But we are all set for the finals rematch between FEU and De La Salle University. The first rally is officially underway. Cobb gets the ball in the air and Tiamzon gets the first opportunity and the kill.
A lot of pressure on the shoulders of this girl, but it seems like it's not a problem for Anton. 10 points in her debut game for DLSU, and right now scoring the first point. Tough point as well, coming from misreceive from the back row of DLSU.
And Michelle, as we mentioned, Tin Tiamzon is no stranger to starting all of the 17 matches of LaSalle last year. De La Cruz, the rookie, gets the point from the opposite side.
No stranger also to pressure Anton. She played with that championship team of Coach Ramil and DLSU, so that will help her come for the championship that they're going for again this year.
All right, now let's get an update on that shoulder situation of Desiree Cheng. Let's go to Ayana Perlas.
Anton and Michelle, about Des, yes, she is still resting and still recovering her shoulder, but of course she is good to play. Now all we have to wait for is Coach Ramil De Jesus' decision on when to put her in. Now solid team play is what brought about the win for the Lady Spikers against the Lady Red Warriors, which ended in a 3-setter defeat. With everyone stepping up, captain expressed her joy towards the support, and the Lady Spikers gave each other to obtain the win. Sabi nga ni Des that their 14-man lineup is a deep roster where you can rely on anyone if given a chance. Sabi nga sa akin ni Tin Tiamzon, player of the game, that the rebuilding team is slowly getting used to the system and getting back to that winning form and mindset. The ladies plan to carry on this mindset as they wish to end their first round on a high note. The game today will be reminiscent to the Season 80 finals, now with both teams having changes in their respective lineups. Let's see what will happen this time around for the green versus green. Back to you, Anton and Michelle.
Well, Ayana, it was a good start for LaSalle until that. Michelle Cobb sending that one over the line, but if there's anybody who knows about dealing with a shoulder injury, it's the lady beside me right now, Michelle Gumabao. You also dealt with a shoulder injury during your last playing year for LaSalle. How tough is it to a player to go through that?
it's very hard because, of course, you want to win the championship. We were going for our three-peat that year, and medyo wala pa akong solid na kapalitan noon in my position. So it was very hard for you to decide whether to rest or to play or to just really push on through the pain. And you really have to do that if you want to sacrifice for your team.
And it is Desiree Chang's last playing year, so she does have a decision to make with regards to that. But for now, let's go first to Sydney Crespo for this report.
Yes, Anton and Michelle, pag pinag-uusapan nga ang Lasal FU's memory of season 80 isn't really the best one. But looking at the bright side, majority of these girls are already familiar with the DLSU brand of volleyball. With that familiarity comes maturity, which they all have to embody today, according to Coach George Pascua. He believes today will not be a battle of spiking skills, but rather of character. That's why as they attempt to finally take revenge for their UAAP Finals heartbreak last season, Coach George instills one thing to his squad: no more room for second thoughts. Now, what are your thoughts, Anton and Michelle?
Well, it's been a while since FEU won against LaSalle, so I'm sure they're very hungry. Let's listen in to this timeout.
Hindi natin pwedeng minamadali. Sir, tulong tayo sa depensa. Okay? Ang palo ng kalaban is puro cross court lang. Ano gagawin natin? Cross court sa block, cross court yung defense natin. Dahan-dahan lang. One at a time lang. Tsagayin nyo lang, paunti-unti lang. Ang kalaban hindi naman pinapalo ng malakas. Tinatakot-talo ng cross court lang. Ha? Wala.
Early timeout, Michelle, for Coach George Pascua.
He's seeing something not right within the defense of FEU and trying to wake up his team. Of course, this is a 5-point advantage for DLSU, Anton. Even though it's just the first set, you want to be able to manage the deficit as early on in this game.
And when you haven't overcome an obstacle like LaSalle in such a long time, it's a huge challenge, not just physically, but mentally for FEU.
Very important for FEU to continue on their winning streak in the first round of this season. This game will be a huge win for them as well if they emerge strong against DLSU.
Yeah, the winner of this match will have could possibly end as the #2 team at the end of the first round of eliminations as we head to this technical timeout with LaSalle on top 8-1. One of the new additions to Taft Avenue, Des Clemente from the University of Perpetual Health System Dalta. Lady Altas taking up her masters now at DLSU, and she came up with a career high performance in their last match against UE.
8 points for her, Anton. 8 points is the total of her previous 5 games.
Wow.
And in this game alone, she scored 8 points, 4 spikes for her, and 4 blocks as well. So finally, I think it's safe to say that she's adjusting to the system of Coach Ramil and to the girls, how they play, the speed that they perform in. And she finished the whole game.
Yeah. And you know what? That's exactly what Coach Ramil De Jesus told me about Desiree Clemente when I was, Lourdes Clemente, when I was asking Coach Ramil about why he would start her and then take her out and not bring her back in the game. It's hard when you're used to a certain system and then you go to a school with a built-in system that has been around for such a long time.
And also knowing Coach Ramil, it's a way for him to instill confidence in Lourdes, because I remember in my rookie years, Coach Ramil would always put me in pag 24 na, 23 na, just to score that last point and gain that confidence and experience that you need, because the UAAP is so much different from all your preseason tournaments that you've been in.
Well, Michelle Cobb could not set that one up properly. Ebon, the rookie, sending it over to the other side. The other rookie, Cholina de la Cruz, with a response.
Ever since her first game here versus Ateneo, she's been playing so well. Her elevation, that confidence that she has. The good thing about all the rookies, not just Jolina, is that they bring in that swag and that confidence inside the game. Not only the rookies of DLSU, but in the likes of Ebon over in the FEU side.
If there's anything that makes you smile, it's the swag of these ladies on the volleyball court. And this is a good matchup, Michelle, between two rookies who play the same position, Ebon and of course Jolina de la Cruz. Malabanan gets the ball to the other side. Cobb, it's a back set for De La Cruz. De La Cruz, soft touch.
Net touch.
And that's a net touch called on FEU.
Net violation on that combo of Domingo and Malabanan. Domingo clearly touching that net. She is currently number 2 as the best blocker in this season.
She is the reigning UAAP best blocker, Celine Domingo. Negrito giving it to Domingo. And Celine Domingo will tip it back down. Very active, as always, at the top of the net is Celine Domingo.
Coming from an attack, Anton, and just being ready for that over-receive over from the DLSU side. Her length is what really keeps her up there. And you know, when you look at Celine, she's so slender, she's very fit, so she's very agile when you look at her inside the court. Napakabilis gumalaw, and she also has that elevation for a middle spiker.
Celine is listed at 5'9", but the middle blockers on the other side of the net, Lourdes Clemente, 6'1", and Aduca Gonzania is 5'9" and a half. De La Cruz is also 5'9" as well. Jolina getting it to the other side. Duremdes popping it up. Negrito going to Malabanan, could not get that one over.
4 touch violation.
It's a slow start for the Tamaraws.
DLSU is really putting pressure on their serves. So it's very hard for FEU to come up with plays and to just deviate the ball from their outside hitters. Right now, all the blockers of DLSU are on their outside hitters. Malabanan had no room to get that ball across.
Negrito running attack for Villarreal. Nothing there. Luna will approach and hit. Door was still closed. Luna will try again. And Villarreal is very active at the top of the net. Yamzon avoiding her. Negrito, it's a back set for Ebon. Cobb, quick attack for Clemente. The rally will continue, but Clemente could not tip it down properly. Cobb gives it back to Des Clemente. And Clemente still can't put it down. Free ball going LaSalle's way. Cobb to Clemente. Finally, after a whole lot of effort, Lourdes Clemente running towards the net and dropping the hammer.
She had how many attempts before she scored that point? She was blocking and attacking. You know, as a middle blocker, Anton, nakakapagod yan. But you know, one of the reasons probably that Coach Ramil keeps her in is she's relentless to score a point. And she really deserved that 1 point. Credits to Michelle Cobb as well for continuously feeding her the confidence to score that point.
She was attacking in a variety of ways. Negrito on the second touch, nothing there. Luna over the blockers. Ebon gets it to the other side. And FEU will get the point.
Miscommunication on that. Over-received by FEU. At this point, Anton, you know, LaSalle can afford being up by 8 points. These miscommunications you can afford. But if you're neck and neck in the 5th set, these are the ones that you really want to avoid. And it starts all, these small points start here in the 1st set.
Luna with the approach. Negrito tossing it up for Ginoo. Clemente gets it up in the air. Saga will give up that free ball to FEU. Negrito looking to her right, tipping it down, but De La Cruz was there. Luna showing us that she's not all about power.
She does have that power, Anton, but that off-speed of May Luna can also kill the defense of her opponent. That's why she's an outside hitter. She can go off speed, she can go power, and she knows how to score that point. Nakikita talaga niya yung butas ng kabilang court.
Malabanan. That ball lands above the net, ready for the hands of Tin Yamzon.
Once again, the reception of FEU is struggling and having a hard time is Kyle Negrito. Of course, as a setter, you want to be able to set up for your spikers and deliver. But it's very hard for her to commit plays when they don't have a good receive.
Quick attack. Lady
FEU somehow
Tamaraw.
able to get that one down. Lady Spikers could not send that ball back FEU's way. 15-6 is the tally.
Now serving.
You know what, Don, if you look at individual stats, FEU has more players in the top 10 of the best scorers. They have more best blockers in this season. But you know what? In the interview of Tin Tiamzon, she said that it's about teamwork, and that's what they're going to use to win games. It's not about individual stats. It's not about how high you are in the ranking. It's really how you perform well with your team.
Luna,
Back row kill.
a back row rocket
Luna.
from May Luna gives LaSalle a 10-point lead as we head to this technical timeout. We're once again saying hello from the Phil Oil Flying V Center in San Juan City as we take a look at the DLSU Lady Spikers and their super rookie Jolina de la Cruz. There was actually only just one match wherein Jolina did not score in double digits, but it was still decent numbers, 8 points against UST. The rest of the matches, she has been absolutely excellent for LaSalle.
As a rookie, Anton, that speaks so much for the future of DLSU under Coach Ramil. While she was serving a while ago, a lot of the DLSU fans were cheering. Just a testament of how well she's been performing, even though she's a rookie and they're allowed to make mistakes and to have off games, but she's been consistent ever since the start of season 81.
And observing her, Michelle, she has that leader in her. She's very vocal. She has that confidence and that swag as well. And yeah, she's a rookie, but she's leading LaSalle in scoring, averaging 12.3 points per match. Of course, there's another super rookie on the other side in the form of Laika Ebon. Tiamzon avoiding the blockers, and Tin Tiamzon, as I said, she's not new to this. Ready to step up, ready to deliver for the Lady Spikers. Tin Tiamzon finding the mark.
This girl just knows where to hit, knows where to put her balls. That's why she has 10 points in last game, and that's why she's one of the leading scorers right now, Anton, is because she's not all about hitting down and hitting powerful, but she gets 1 point all the same.
De La Cruz over the blockers. Now Ebon will respond. Cobb was there. Luna from the back row. Negrito will send it back to the DLSU side. De La Cruz wants it. She gets it. She hits it. Duremdes was there. Negrito giving it back to Domingo, who finds a way to score, just stretching to tip it down with her left hand.
Smart move by Celine Domingo. That set went way past her, but as we said a while ago, her length is a huge advantage for her. When you're awkward, you really have to just be smart about where you play that ball. And 1 point for Celine Domingo.
Ether Ginoo sending that one over the line. Now Tiamzon will head to the service line for LaSalle as we take a look at Coach George Pascua. Negrito. Ebon. De La Cruz chasing that volleyball. Goes back to the FEU side. Malabanan will attack. Saga. Luna could not get it over.
That was a good set from Saga all the way from the other side of the court. That block was so high. If you see Laika Ebon going up on a block, halos kapantay na niya, Anton, itong block ni Celine Domingo, and there's a height difference between these two girls, but the vertical jump of Laika Ebon is just really high, and pantay na pantay talaga ng mga middle blockers ng FEU.
just in case you were wondering, the average height of the players of FEU is actually taller than the average height of LaSalle. 5'9" yung average height ng starters ng FEU. Ang LaSalle 5'8" and a half lamang. And that's because Cobb is 5'4". But Cobb has that timing that sometimes she can actually score some kill blocks as well. Pantay-pantay din kasi yung height ng FEU. Malabanan. Ball is tossed in the air. Luna. Cayuna just checked in. Cobb with a back set. De La Cruz. Ginoo was there. Cayuna to Ronquillo. Malabanan from the opposite side. That's what FEU needs from their captain.
They have to get this girl going if they really want to come back in this first set. 9 points down, but it's still a long game to go. Malabanan coming from the opposite side, not the side where she started. Scoring a big kill for FEU.
Earlier, you saw the mother of Jerely, Liberty Malabanan. Of course, Jerely grew up in California, in Orange County. Very different environment compared to University Belt, as Lourdes Clemente is able to score for LaSalle. Ten-point lead for the defending champions. Chance of Jolina as she serves this one up. Cayuna. Malabanan gets ruled.
Clemente and Luna, Anton, were all over that set. It was way too tight for Jerely not to be able to get elevation.
Coach George Pascua calls a timeout.
Kung pare yung kasama natin, i-cover natin. Okay? Hindi pa pwede yung open ang play natin. Do the combination. Kailangan is pass play tayo, especially yung chance ball natin. First, strikers, humingi kayo ng bola para ma-recognize si center kung nasa ano kayo. Then sipag lang. Yung kalaban kahit sa mundo yung bola, nandun sila. So tayo, konti aggressiveness sa loob ng court. Okay? Yarag. Okay, let's go.
A lack of aggressiveness and a lack of communication is what Coach George Pascua pointed out in that huddle.
He's also noticing, Anton, that their plays are really just throwing it to the outside and to the opposite, and it's mainly from their reception. If your reception doesn't reach the net or the setter and she has to run for it, she's unable to commit to her plays and to her middle, so ipapato na lang talaga niya kung saang safe.
De La Cruz. Cayuna tossing it up for Malabanan. And that time, FEU tried to do something different to make it more difficult for LaSalle to block their attacks.
Smart move by Jerely Malabanan, going for that deep cross court. Although a very tall Clemente is guarding that cross court, she finds that hole in the deep parts where Jolina de la Cruz is stationed.
Cayuna, Ronquillo. Just a difficult spot for her. Now LaSalle is just 3 points away from taking the first set. Luna gets that one in. Jel Cayuna tossing it up for Ginoo. Drop ball does not work as CJ Saga was there. Tiamzon will try her version of a drop ball, and it works.
Just right behind the blockers where you want your drop balls to go. She saw that Jel Cayuna was way at the back waiting for a strong kill.
6 points now in the match for Tin Tiamzon. Sharp serve by May Luna. Luna with the pass to Cobb, and Cobb trying to score off of that second touch. And Coach Ramil de Jesus did not like that one.
Substitution. Mars, Alba,
Now
and
Alba
May Luna.
will come in for LaSalle.
For FEU, Laika Edbon and Kyle Negrito back in the game.
Now, we know Alba is also the backup setter of LaSalle, but there have been several occasions this season wherein she played at the same time as Michelle Cobb. Negrito. Cobb giving it up to Alba. A setter-to-setter connection there. Cobb to Tiamzon. Another drop ball attempt, and that time FEU was ready for it.
Good timing by Ebon on that attempt. Talking about her hands once again, she's at the same height of Villarreal, who is also number 6 as the best blocker in this season of the UAAP.
Serving.
And an ace by Kyle Negrito.
This is what we've been looking for, a strong serve for FEU to be able to put pressure on the reception of DLSU.
And now, Coach Ramil de Jesus calls a timeout.
Nag-free-ball tayo, nag-free-ball. Nandito ka na agad eh. So, nandito si Lourdes. Ang gagawin mo dyan, kung tumasimula rito, dadalong ka pa doon. Dito ka muna, dan pa doon. Okay? So, tingnan mo mutik. Minsan, tingnan mo yung ginagawa mo sa tao mo kung ano bibitawan mo. Minsan, hindi mo tinitingnan yung bibigyan mo ng bola, pumapato ka lang. Kaya hindi mo kayo nag-aabot dalawa. Pwestuhan nyo lang yan, pwestuhan nyo lang yung okay?
Coach Godfrey Okumo is in attendance. So apparently there is a UAAP scouting area already, Michelle. I've never seen that before.
Very subtle, Anton. You know, you'll never see it coming. Scouting area. They have a place where the cameras are, where other teams can set up their cameras to watch film, because you know all these players, all these coaches review each other and how their past games and their performance to best prepare for their upcoming matches.
And UP will have their final match to close out the first round of eliminations tomorrow at 4 p.m. against Adamson University. Coach Godfrey already doing his homework in advance. Clemente getting that one in. Negrito to Heather Ginoo. Alba to Tiamzon. Negrito. Difficult back set for Ebon. But Naika Ebon is able to finish the play.
Looking at the single block, like Ebon goes down the line. Just such a big hole for the block of DLSU.
Now the service specialist Carly Hernandez comes in for the first time in this match. LaSalle already at set point though. Cobb, what will she do next? Here comes Cobb, tossing it up for Tiamzon, and Tiamzon will score off the block to close the set. Tintin Tiamzon soaring and scoring for De La Salle University. Light work for the defending champions in that first set as they cruise to a 25-15 victory. We'll be back for set number 2. It is the finals rematch between FEU and LaSalle, and LaSalle takes set number 1 in relatively easy fashion. De La Cruz made her presence felt. Lourdes Clemente did her damage at the top of the net, but the lady spiker who was able to shine the brightest was Tin Tiamzon, who made her second straight start today.
Very important for these two teams to focus on their services, and that's what DLSU did in the first set. There was quite a bit of a struggle in the offense of FEU. Coach George Pasqua really noticing that in his timeouts. And you can see that this DLSU, Anton, they're very calm in this first set. They're going for that kills. They're going for variation in terms of their attacks. They're not only hitting it straight down. They know that FEU is a good blocking team. they've been checked a lot of times as well. And they know that FEU is much taller than them. They're tied at 1 block each. Service aces, DLSU has 1 more, but this is the most crucial thing. DLSU has 15 and only 9 for FEU in terms of attack points. And it really starts with a good reception, and that's what DLSU did. And that's what we're looking for here in the second set for FEU, especially from their back row. You have Durentes. You also have Heather Ginoo, who serves as like a second libero for the FEU squad.
And if Tiamzon and her teammates continue to play like this, there might be no need for now to bring in their captain, Desiree Cheng. Ogunsanya tipping it down low for the first attack of LaSalle. That didn't work. Malabanan couldn't get it for FEU. Now Tiamzon goes cross-court, but Durentes was there. Malabanan will try again. The ball will go back to LaSalle. De La Cruz over the blockers, popped up by Durentes. Negrito, it's a back set for Ebon, who had to step on the brakes, but Tiamzon was there to put it down.
Great timing on that block. It was an attack from the back row, but Tin Tiamzon was ready for that ball coming to her.
Let's try to find out what's going on the FEU side as we hear from Sydney Crespo.
Yes, Anton and Michelle, I mentioned earlier FEU's familiarity over DLSU, but one Lady Tamara who hasn't experienced DLSU swag would be FEU super rookie Laika Evon. Even before the start of the season, Laika shared to me that it was DLSU's Mika Reyes who inspired her to pursue the sport and compete. So just imagine how excited and eager she is today to finally play against this team. Sabi nga niya sa akin, she will play this game for her ates who are in hopes of changing the story of an FEU DLSU matchup. Now, Anton and Michelle, this is what it means when we say work hard until your idols become your rivals. Back to you.
Wow, that's a very interesting bit of trivia there. Thank you very much, Sydney. Like, I would never have thought that Laika Ebon's idol was Mika Reyes because, I mean, they don't play the same position. But maybe she liked the personality, yung pagiging matapang ni Mika Reyes, and the way she energized her team.
Looking at Ebon, Anton, you see that swag, diba? You see the swag of her idol, and she has 3 points. She's currently the leading scorer of FEU alongside Malabanan.
And she gets a point right there. Her 4th point of the match, Laika Ebon. Now let's go back to the LaSalle side and hear from Ayana Perlas.
Anton and Michelle, it is the 4th consecutive set win for the Lady Spikers with yet again Tin Tiamzon starting for the green and white. Now more on Tin, naikwento nga niya sa akin na of course she has always been ready to play, kaya naman nung naging next woman up siya during the last game in the absence of Captain Desiree Cheng, hindi na niya sinayang ang opportunity to contribute and prove herself once again. Tin knows that she needs to bring back her consistency, but for now masaya si Tin na nabilik niya ang kumpiyansa sa sarili at kumpiyansa ni Coach Ramil sa kanya. Now let's see if Tin Tiamzon continues to be the emotional fuel that she was during the last game and the first set in the next sets to come. Your thoughts, Antonio, Michelle?
You know what? It's like she is back in the starting lineup like she never left. Like, it's a seamless transition for Tin Tiamzon.
She is also considered one of the seniors, Anton, especially with her playing experience. And Coach Ramil knows that when you need someone, you can always bank on Tin Tiamzon, and that's what she is showing right now. She is worthy of stepping up if Desiree Cheng continues to sit the game out today. She is fully equipped to be able to fill in those big shoes.
And that just goes to show how deep the lineup of Coach Ramil de Jesus is. Julia Ipak, who was playing in the place of Des Clemente and those earlier matchups, actually did not need to play against UE in their last contest. As now, you mentioned, as the game goes on, as the season goes on, Clemente is getting more and more familiar with the LaSalle system.
Rarely Malabanan has scored more points as an opposite than in her original position as an outside. And she scored 3 points in that place for her team.
Meanwhile, Jolina De La Cruz tallies her 6th point of the match, a Gatorade fuel spike of the game. You know, a lot of people have been comparing or have been seeing some similarities between Julina and De La Cruz. So I want to ask you, Michelle, do you see similarities between Julina and Ara Galang, or is there another player in mind?
They have the same stance when you see them inside the court. Kind of similar in terms of body type, but they have that elevation. But I think this girl has more swag when she entered in her first year as compared to Ara. Ara was very quiet when she entered. She delivered, no doubt, each and every time. But she was always so quiet. Like ko nga inaasar yun, sobrang bait niya talaga pag naglalaro siya. Dati like ko siyang pinupush mag-angas or to just, you know, show some emotion whenever she scores a point. And you see that in her latter years. But in terms of scoring points, they play different positions. Ara definitely has that receive and that defense going for her. So it's very hard to compare, but in terms of talent, well, they both shine bright in their rookie year, so I think you can compare them in those areas.
Well, that's how it is when new players come in the collegiate ranks, because that's how it is here. Players come and go, and new stars will shine as Luna gets that service ace for LaSalle as we head to this technical timeout. Michelle, you and I have been talking about this for the past couple of weeks, the I Want app. And maybe these people inside the arena know about it as well. If you don't download it right now, because you can watch the volleyball matches in UAAP Season 81 wherever you are with your cell phones, your gadgets, and you can also check out some Kapamilya teleseries as well. So check it out right now on iwant.ph.
Teleserye namin ni Anton, I think showing there. Oh.
In our dreams. Ikaw lang siguro, ikaw in the future, near future, kayo ni Marco. Meanwhile, Tiamzon sending that one out.
Better start for FEU. They're keeping it close. Within the first technical timeout, they're getting more aggressive in terms of their back row receive and defense. And you can see that translate into points when they attack.
Clemente could not put it down. Tiamzon will hit again. And she will get the check.
Off the block.
Tiamzon now in her 4th playing year for LaSalle. So may isa pang year of eligibility itong si Tiamzon.
This is a good exposure also for her, Anton. She hasn't been playing, as we said a while ago, in the start of season 81, but you have to be able to prepare her for what's coming next year. This is the final year of Des Cheng, and she will step up for DLSU. Tiamzon next year will have her year, so this is a good exposure for her.
Lady Tamara.
Girls, basic lang muna. Balik tayo. Saan tayo dapat mag-focus? Sa service, receive, block. Ano yung common na nangyayari? Is receive at saka yung off the block natin. So ready tayo sa mga ganun. Yun naman ang game plan natin di ba? Dapat tibayan yung first ball muna natin. Kasi nga, matibay ang depensa ng kalaban. And then matibay ang service ng kalaban. So anong dapat natin gawin? Kailangan umisip tayo para ma-convert natin ng point. Yun ang gagaling sa kalaban. And then, labang!
Hinahanap pa rin ni Coach George Pascua ang tapang ng kanyang mga manlalaro. Something that has been missing so far in this contest. And if you're an FEU fan, that's very frustrating considering the fact that they have been playing so well coming into this match, and you would think that they are ripe to finally score a win against LaSalle.
They're also missing one of their top scorers, Heather Ginoo, in the second set. Ronquillo came in for and started for her. And coming from a 20-point game, Anton, you would bank on her in this game versus DLSU. You'd want to see her. And now we see her picking up the number to come in.
You're right about that. That was a career high. Her best performance ever in terms of points. 20 points for Heather Ginoo. Clemente looking more and more comfortable with Lasal. Just got a service ace a while ago. Will get another one as FEU could not send it back to the other side.
Clemente goes to the same spot right down the middle. Ebon a while ago wasn't able to control that. Heather Ginoo coming in for her and not also able to control that serve from Lourdes Clemente.
Clemente. Negrito running attack for Domingo. It's been a tough afternoon for the Lady Tamaraws. Domingo could not find the mark.
Domingo coming from her own reception, going for a running attack, not being able to finish, but you know, she's trying to take one for the team. You rarely see a middle spiker receive her own ball, Anton, but right now that's their main problem. Over on the FEU side is getting the ball to Kyle Negrito in the front row.
Well, here's another rookie, Michelle, from FEU, Elise Ronquillo. And you can see, you know, with her frame, how young she is in this collegiate level. Ogunsanya. Yamzon with a save. Ball will go back. The sign of the Lady Tamaraws, and Kyle Negrito will send it back down on the second touch.
Nobody dips like this girl, Anton. Among all the setters here in the UAAP, she doesn't only get that ball across, but it's like an attack altogether. You see that snap of her wrist whenever she jumps and tries to tip that ball. That's why if you don't stop Kyle Negrito on a block, it's very hard to get that ball in the defense.
Now this is looking like the FEU that we know, the FEU that we've been watching the past 3 matches. As you see, one of the most consistent players in UAAP women's volleyball today, Seth Domingo, get that block.
And then nakikita mo, profile setter to. Dito ka na dito, dito dadanin mo na. And then yun yung sinasabi ko sa inyo, tingnan nyo kayo si Negrito, nasa profile niyan eh. Pagpalit natin, ano gagawin ng setter? Hindi ko ano ba palo yung spiker, ano gagawin ng setter, okay?
Nandun na ako, sige akin na, nandun ako.
Okay, isang pasa mo na, okay?
Isang putal. Hey!
So after Negrito scores on the second touch, and of course Domingo getting a kill block, Coach Ramil De Jesus calls a timeout. And here's a guy who knows a thing or two about leadership and swag, Kip Montalvo. And I'm sure he hopes to see Desiree Chen come in later on.
The performance of Tin Tiamzon is also good for Des Cheng's recovery. You don't know the extent of her injuries. Yan ang nakakatakot if you get injured, Anton, mid-season eh. May takot kang magpa-check up kasi you don't know what the doctor will say. So, syempre, you want to play. You don't want to be crowded by that pressure from the decision of the doctor whether you can play or not.
A fudgy bar, O-bar sa saya moment from the FEU Lady Tamaraws, who are now starting to enjoy the match. But as I say that, the rookie, Elise Ronquillo, sends that one straight to the net. And we have crossed a Gatorade hydration checkpoint. 14-9 is our tally as Michelle Cobb returns to the service line. Cobb now in her 3rd year playing for the Lady Spikers. Ronquillo gets it in the air. That's a quick attack for Domingo. Nothing there. Saga will toss it up for De La Cruz, and De La Cruz will score.
Jolina De La Cruz.
Going to that cross-court hit kung saan nakakapunto sa kanilang simpalabanan from that opposite side. De La Cruz does the same thing to the FEU blockers.
Ogunsanya looking on. Batchmates rin sila ni Tin Tiamzon. Well, in terms of the playing years, as Malabanan shows us one of her more powerful hits.
When she gets that set that she likes from Kyle Negrito, she's tall, she has that power. When she gets that flick of her wrist na napakabilis, it's really hard to stop Jelly Malabanan. She just has to get that connection consistently going from Kyle Negrito.
Negrito and Malabanan and Ginoo are 3 graduating players from the FEU side. So there is that sense of urgency for them to win a championship. But Tiamzon continues
Technical.
to find her
Timeout.
mark here in this match as LaSalle leads FEU 16-10. Ginoo trying to challenge the blockers of LaSalle. Aduke Ogunsanya.
Duque Ogunsanya.
Aduke is another example of a player who waited for her time. Somebody who was just in the lineup, actually had to sit out 1 year, came back and made it to the starting lineup and was an impact player for Coach Ramil De Jesus. Oh, Tiamzon sending that one straight to the net though.
That's usually the case of DLSU players. It's rare for rookies, you know, maybe 1 or 2 rookies to start in their rookie year, because you always have ates and seniors who are playing well for DLSU, because Coach Ramil always prepares his lineup for the next season, the next generation. So you really have to wait sometimes a year or 2 to be able to get your playing time.
Zarina Karandang is in for the very first time for FEU. The last time FEU beat LaSalle, Rem Palma was still playing, and people have seen some Rem Palma in Zarina Karandang in terms of yung tapa at yung pagiging agresibo. Look at her flexing after that point.
Trying to rally her teammates, and this is what FEU needs right now, is just the swag, the confidence to go up against a team like DLSU, because as we said a while ago, Anton, on paper, they're a good matchup for the DLSU Lady Spikers, and more, if you look at them individually, they're much more accomplished individually according to the statistics of season 81, but as a team, dyan sila nagkakatalo-talo to receive set spike as a team. It has to come together in today's game.
Ebon is number 5 in scoring. Domingo is number 9. Ginoo is number 12. LaSalle's highest ranked scorer is De La Cruz at 13. Luna. Duremdes gets it in the air. Negrito back set for Ginoo. Ginoo could not get the proper touch on that spike.
Heather Ginoo still trying to find her rhythm in today's game versus DLSU after scoring 20 points in that last game versus Adamson. She was the leading scorer. FEU is looking to her now to be able to also lead in today's game versus the Lady Spikers.
Now, I just heard the crowd react from the LaSalle side, and it was because Desiree Cheng got the number of Tiamzon. So we might see the return of Desiree Cheng on the court.
Over, pero nasa kabila pa po, over, pero tinaman ang bola sa loob.
Reaching beyond the net.
It's a good call by our first referee. Kyle Negrito was ready to set that ball to the middle. And hindi naman mukhang sinasadya ni Lourdes Clemente, pero tumama kasi sa block niya. You know, standing at 6'1", when you put your hands above the net, hindi mo pwedeng tamaan yung sineset ng setter. That is an illegal block and called by our first referee.
FEU coming to life, and that is why Coach Ramil De Jesus calls a timeout.
Cisco, kailangan natin pumuntos eh, may drop. Tayo mga kapatid, ilang beses ka na nakakuha ng drop, wala nakapatay ka dyan. Di ba? Kaya ganun eh, hindi po pwede, nagbantay na yun eh. Hindi mo dito sa gilid, hindi pwedeng puro ganun sa spike. Pagka nakakita nyo hindi natin napatay yung bola, pwesto nyo agad, huwag nyo iwanan yung spiker, okay? So pwesto ng depensa. Kasi doon ka nagmamadali, wala ka naman dapat madali, wala ka dapat i-jump set. Tingnan mo muna yung spiker mo kung nakapwesto o hindi. Kaya hindi na tayo nakakapwesto. Ano nga, gawin natin, inalagay-lagay na lang yung bola. Okay, so yan.
Coach Ramil, although they are 4 points up, just wants to make sure that his girls know that this FEU team is coming back in this set, and it's nothing to take lightly. That timeout was to really wake up his girls and pressure them to score 1 point.
Ronquillo had to twist her body in the air for that hit. Lourdes Clemente still can't put it down. Top. Luna on the attack. Durendes was there. Negrito tossing it up for Malabanan. Cross-court attack does not work. Carandang. Ball punched to the FEU side by De La Cruz. Ronquillo will hit. Saga was there. Cobb. Luna. And May Luna will score.
Great job from Michelle Cobb distributing that ball. Hindi mabasa nitong block ng FEU, but the defense of FEU has come alive in this second set, Anton.
Now goes George Pascua, calls for time.
Pwede natin, hindi ito manggagaling. Puro mahaba ang palo. Saan tayo mag-start? Dito muna sa long. And then, pag-forward tayo pagka may off speed. Importante, bago tayo pumesto, bago tayo gumalaw, kailangan nasa defense pattern tayo. Kung wala tayo sa pattern ng defense pattern natin, mahirapan tayo lumabas. And then commit. Okay? Ang Lasal, ginagawa nila, tinitignan muna yung position ninyo bago nila pinapalo yung nilalagay-lagay lang yung bola. So huwag kayo magpapakita muna ng movement, parang wala idea si Spiker kung saan dadali ng bola. And then disiplina sa pattern ng defense at saka dun sa game plan natin, dun sa combination attack natin, ha?
Was George Pascua in his second season as the head coach of the FEU Lady Tamaraos. Always very detailed when it comes to his huddles. Wag muna gumalaw at ipakita ang defensive patterns until Lasal makes contact with that ball. Cobb. Running attack for Lourdes Clemente. Now, if she can do that consistently, she will be a huge problem. We used to see Mika Reyes. We used to see Majoy Maron. Now we see Lourdes Clemente.
LaSalle hasn't had that consistent running attack ever since the likes of Joy Baron and also Abby Maraño. But Lourdes Clemente, whenever LaSalle gets a free ball, they have to be able to utilize her and maximize her in the front row. FEU has to get the reception going to be able to bounce back in this second set.
Straight to the net on that spike by May Luna. So before Abby, who was doing those running attacks?
Yeah, Jack Alarca
Okay.
and Michelle Datuin.
Yun.
I'm not sure if Ate Michelle went for those running attacks, but she's very known as a tough blocker.
4-touch violation.
But surely LaSalle always had that player who developed that type of attack in her arsenal. Clemente. Ball goes to the FEU side. Quick attack for Domingo, and look at the second jump of Celine Domingo.
Great anticipation there for Celine Domingo. After getting blocked, she was ready to defend that ball again.
As I said, she is back. Desiree Cheng making her return after a one-match absence. Cobb will give it back to the captain. Carandang was there. Ronquillo trying to tip it to the other side. Ginoo. Luna. Cobb. Ooh! Lourdes Clemente.
Just in time to step up in today's game. Lourdes Clemente, we haven't seen that solid hit since that running attack, Anton, but that quick set from Michelle Cobb was greatly timed by Lourdes Clemente.
7 points now in the match for Lourdes Clemente. Ronquillo.
4-touch violation.
On the return of Desiree Cheng. And Lourdes Clemente showing us a running attack and a powerful,
DLSU now.
quick attack has energized this LaSalle squad. Oh, but Clemente sending that one long.
These service errors from DLSU is really keeping FEU alive in this game. They serve one good ball, sometimes an ace, and then it becomes an error.
Ronquillo, De La Cruz, Cobb, giving it back to the captain. Desiree Cheng.
And the set.
She is back. Let's take a look at it one more time. Desiree Cheng finds the mark. And De La Salle University is now on top 2-0 against FEU in this finals rematch. We'll be back for set number 3. De La Salle University up now 2-0 and even though there are a lot of new faces and a lot of players who have graduated from both sides, of course Pons from FEU and then of course Majoy, Kim D, Don Macandili from LaSalle, the outcome is sort of the same as to what happened in the finals last year.
There's that certain pressure over on the FEU side whenever they face the ladies in green on the other side of the court. We're seeing a much more quiet FEU team in today's game. They started slow in the first set, coming back alive in the second set, scoring more points for the FEU squad. But Lourdes Clemente, Anton, has come alive in the second set. Much more convincing attacks from her, quick attacks, running attacks. Michelle Cobb has been going to her in set number 2, and the entrance of the captain, Desiree Cheng, was the momentum changer for Coach Ramil and the DLSU Lady Spikers. FEU not being able to attack when she was put in. This is what we were saying, more attack points for FEU in the second set, only 1 point away from the number of DLSU. 2 block points for FEU as the only one of LaSalle, but the service aces, Anton, of DLSU are 5 as opposed to FEU's 1 service ace. Their receptions is what's crucial for the FEU Lady Tamaraws, and they've been struggling with it ever since the first set.
So let's see if the Lady Tamaraws can somehow wake up from this nightmare that they've been living for the past couple of years against LaSalle as we enter set number 3. Maraming salamat muli sa inyong pagtutok. Anton Rojas, Michelle Gumabaw, Sydney Crespo, and Ayana Perlas, your broadcast team for our second women's volleyball match on this Saturday. Was there ever a team in your UAAP volleyball career, Michelle, that seemed to have your number, and every time you played them, you had difficulty finding your way against them?
In my time, there wasn't that one specific team.
Okay.
We had our days. As DLSU, we had our days. I think in my first 2 years, it was UST. And we had a hard time whenever we would go up against UST. And of course, in my latter 2 years, it was Ateneo, and we always went up against them in the finals.
And I guess for FEU, it's LaSalle, and you have to find some way to overcome them. Negrito to Domingo. The rally will continue. Cobb to Tiamzon. Malabanan was there. Negrito, quick attack for Domingo. Cobb gets it back in the air. Saga to De La Cruz. Ebon over the blockers. Luna pops it up. Saga will give it back to FEU. Negrito will toss it up for Malabanan. And that one sails out point to LaSalle as we go to Ayana Perlas.
Ika nga ni Aduke Ogonzania, hashtag Let's Do This. A hashtag that is dedicated to the two graduating Deses, with Des Clemente now stepping up in the day's game, and of course Captain Desiree Cheng playing once again for the girls. Nothing can go wrong. Anton and Michelle in the last set, it was seen that the girls had good communication with Coach Ramil De Jesus, which was Coach Ramil De Jesus was asking for in the dugout in the last game against UE. Ika nga ni Coach Ramil, everyone can be a leader and never hesitate to lead the team, even if you're a rookie, which the girls showed in the last set. What do you think, Anton and Michelle?
I think it's very witty, that hashtag, let's do this. And they did the damage late in that second set. The two Deses, Lourdes Clemente and Desiree Cheng. Malabanan.
Malabanan.
FEU is just waiting for Jerely Malabanan, their captain, to really be a force to reckon with, because with her size, her physical attributes, she should be doing that on a more consistent basis.
Speaking of leadership, on the side of FEU, they're still missing the leadership of Heather Ginoo. Ronquillo is still starting for the Lady Tamaraws in the third set.
As Tiamzon is able to get the point for LaSalle. FEU scrambling but could not get it back over the net as we go to Sydney Crespo.
Yes, Anton, you're right about team captain Jerely Malabanan, but you know, she seems to be more aggressive today. That's because I think she rewatched the season 80 finals game this morning before coming here in the arena. She said that this is her way to bring back the feeling of heartbreak versus DLSU and motivate her to lead the squad. But now, as we can see, FEU has still yet to win a set, but Coach George rallied to the FEU girls to enjoy the game because there's still more volleyball left to play. Balik sa inyo.
Diba? The more na maraming error, the more yung chances natin manalo. The more na lessen yung error, mas malaki yung chance natin. Yung 6 na yun, puro error lang natin yan. Huwag natin tulungan yung kalaban. Let's go! Kaya pa natin! Kano pa rin dapat yung goal natin? Guys, laro tayo with pride. Come on! Kaya na yan! Kaya na yan!
Earlier, Sydney was talking about Jerely Malabanan, and Malabanan is actually leading FEU in scoring right now with 7 points. So if you're a player, you look for any source of motivation, and for Jerely, it was last year's final series.
And that's what Coach George was talking about, the pride. That you came from a championship contender. You were the team that went to the finals versus this team, the DLSU Lady Spikers. So where's that pride? You're 1 year smarter, stronger, more mature, and it has to show in today's game. And these simple errors that FEU is committing, misreceptions and setting errors, miscommunications, you don't want to see this in a team like FEU who wants to win right now versus DLSU.
Coach George was also talking about how if they commit more errors, that minimizes their chances of winning. And Elise Ronquillo way underneath the ball on that hit. LaSalle will head into this technical timeout leading 8-1. Once again, we are thanking everybody who are tuned in right now, and you see those socks that she's holding. You can get that at the UAAP store. There you see De La Salle University themed socks. Check it out on the Instagram account. Just look for UAAP store. And they also have a Facebook account as well. I got to touch those socks a while ago. And I tell you, Michelle, they're pretty thick. They're pretty thick socks.
How long are they? Up to where do they finish?
They're mid. They're mid-level socks. They're like tube socks.
Crucial kasi yung green eh. Kasi pink na yung jersey namin ngayon. So medyo, I don't know how I'm gonna bring that inside the court. But
You're gonna look like a strawberry. Pink and green.
diba? Cute, diba? Why not? Kuha nga ako a pair.
Represent pa rin. Negrito. Getting it up in the air. Ronquillo.
Through the block.
Breaking down the wall on that spot.
Ronquillo getting the point for FEU. Kyle Negrito going for that set. She was on her knees.
That's Kyle. Very crafty setter. Luna. Cobb. Back set for Ogunsanya. Negrito. Quick attack for Karandang, but nanggigil si Zarina doon.
Outside.
That set was low. She was underneath the ball. She was trying to go for that touch ball against Ogunsanya. But Karandang needs to get that elevation. You know, she's tall. She has a high contact with the ball, and kailangan talaga mataas yung set sa kanya para makaibabaw siya sa DLSU blockers.
Duremdes, Negrito, Ronquillo, the rookie, getting a lot of opportunities here in this match. Luna. You see Luna gallop before she rose up for that spike. Clemente now will hit. Negrito, back set for Ebon, and Luna. She's been very aggressive in this match, but that one sails out.
Laika Ebon outsmarting the block of DLSU on that point.
Now Coach George Pascua will switch things up. Jel Cayuna is now back in. And Heather Ginoo, the player that we were just mentioning moments ago, coming off that career best performance. Cayuna started 2 of the 6 matches for FEU. And Lourdes Clemente, not as strong as the running attack she executed earlier, but because of her height, she was able to put that one down.
It's also good to have variation, especially when you commit to a strong spike in that second set. Diba? Aabangan ka na ng defense at ng block ng kalaban. So Lourdes Clemente changing things up a bit. That set was kinda not in her comfort zone, but it worked for her being smart enough to go for that drop ball.
But what about that quick attack by Karandang? She got it back. She was the one who got the first touch. Gave it to Jel Cayuna and then got it back. Domingo tips it down with 2 hands. Earlier, I sent out a tweet about right before this match day, only 5 players have scored in double digits in all of their matches in Season 81. And Celine Domingo is one of them, a GRS Express best play of the game. The other players who have scored in double digits in all of the matches are Tots Carlos, Kat Tolentino, Cici Rondina, and Ea Lauren. But the only middle blocker on that list is Celine Domingo. And that's very hard to score in double digits in all of your matches.
Especially as a middle blocker, Anton, you don't get that much opportunities as compared to the outside and to your opposite spikers. But Celine is very dominant when it comes to her blocks, and that's where she scores the most. She is the current best blocker of the UAAP, and now in Season 81, she is number 2.
Let's take a look at this attack by Elise Ronquillo. Definitely no touch there. But Coach George is letting her learn and commit these mistakes, Michelle.
She's been starting ever since the second set. She went in for Heather Ginoo. And yes, she's been committing errors, Anton. She's a rookie. And, you know, Coach George is letting her have her opportunities and her touches, building her up for their future games. And just goes to show the plans that Coach George has for this girl.
And that's because 3 key players will be graduating at the end of this season. Ginoo, Negrito, and Jerilyn Malabanan. Clemente gets that one in. Ronquillo, Duremdes, Cobb, Tiamzon.
No touch.
No touch on that spike by Tin Tiamzon.
FEU is still in this third set. They have to take advantage of these little errors that DLSU is giving them and just put up a good serve, put up a good block, attack as hard as they can.
Tiamzon again, this time avoiding the blockers. Duremdes. What effort by Buding Duremdes. Running attack for Aduque.
Ogunsanya.
There it is again. Another running attack from a lady spiker. As we have crossed the Gatorade hydration checkpoint.
Laika Ebon back in the game.
Only a single block for Aduque on that attempt. She doesn't go straight down with a kill, but she goes way cross court and she knows where there's no defender for FEU.
Malapanan
Jeremy
finds the
Malabanan.
corner. FEU is staying within striking distance of LaSalle, but that's not going to be enough. They need to find that extra gear, Michelle.
Right before the second technical timeout, Anton, this is the time to step up, get rallies, and win the rallies. If FEU really wants to come back strong in this third set, they have to put pressure on DLSU's reception, and they have to put up a good block.
Wow, that was a showdown between the two rookies right there. De La Cruz and Ebon. And Ebon won on that sequence. And now Coach Ramil De Jesus calls a timeout.
Kung nagmamadali ka ng pagbibigay ng kombinasyon, hindi na mapapalo. Ay, yung height ng binibigay mong bola, hindi talaga mapapalo kung di idatrap lang yun. Kaya ang sabi ko sa iyo, mag-antay ka. Tingnan mo yung position ng spiker mo. Okay? Kung hindi mo nakikita yung spiker mo, malabo mapalo ng maayos yan. Kasi inuhulaan mo kung itataas mo kung ano yung height ng bola. Kailan nakikita? Yung pagkaalangan yung bigay dyan lang ng bola. Okay? So, pwestuhan natin itong receive na to. Pagkatapos, sinan natin kung ano may dadating na bola. Kung mag-ayos mo lang dadating, ayusin yung palo. Pagka hindi, bumlock tayo ng maayos. Ready sa dadaanan ng bola, ha?
Coach Ramil, a little sense of urgency from his girls. Once again, they are 4 points up, but FEU is gaining momentum. They're showing signs of life in this third set. They block, they serve, and they're starting to receive. And Coach Ramil is asking that the setter, Michelle Cobb, to put up the ball higher for the spikers. If you don't get that elevation, it's hard to go up against a much taller block, which is the FEU Lady Tamaraws.
Oh, quick attack for Zarina Carandang. That was filled with power. Carandang rocking the DLSU side.
I like watching Carandang play, Anton, because, you know, every point seems like a championship point with this girl. And she's firing up the FEU Lady Tamaraws, and this is what they need, the energy, the momentum. Let's hope that they don't stop it themselves.
But Aduque has a response. Wow! Aduque Ogunsanya.
Quick finish for Aduque Ogunsanya and Michelle Cobb for finding her in that back set.
So the middle blockers are going at it here in set number 3. Negrito, back set for Ebon. Cobb to Alba. A setter to setter connection. Michelle Cobb to Marion Alba. And LaSalle leads FEU 16-11. Let's take a look at this last hit by Aduque Ogunsanya. And that's that familiar LaSallian swag. What about this? Michelle Cobb to Marion Alba. The two setters collaborating for that last point.
Even when Alba is going up to hit, kitang-kita mo yung control niya sa katawan niya. And that's the number one telltale if you're a setter, your control with the ball and your hand and your body. And Alba, she didn't spike hard, but she knows how to score a point. She was watching and reading the blockers of FEU and just going over them.
Ebon, Saka was there. Cobb, back set for De La Cruz. Jolina De La Cruz going cross court for the kill.
You know when Jolina is going to score a point based on her approach, when she's not stopping And she has that momentum and she gains that speed when she approaches. She's over the blockers of FEU, Anton. Kitang-kita mo yung contact niya sa bola, napakataas.
9 points now in the match for De La Cruz. Aduque mistimed that one. It's going to be a free ball for FEU. Negrito, quick attack for Carandang.
Carandang.
Good variation for Carandang, going for that hard hits, going for that drop ball. DLSU not able to defend and read her here in the third set, and she's also a good addition to the blocking defense of FEU.
Malabanan floats that one over to the other side. De La Cruz dipping it with the left hand. Ebon. That's another point for FEU. May Luna will return for LaSalle after this hit by Laika Ebon. And Marion Alba getting a nice hand from the LaSallian faithful as she checks out. Pop, binalik ang bola kay Aduque.
No touch.
Too much spice on that spike for Aduque. FEU, Michelle, just down by 3 here.
Big rally for the FEU Lady Tamaraws, and a while ago, how many points were they down, Anton? More than, I think, almost 6 points. They were down at 6 points, and they came back in this third set.
De La Cruz, Duremdes was there. Ebon, ooh! Cobb making contact with that ball. And Coach Ramil De Jesus wants to talk things over.
Medyo nakikita ni Coach Ramil nang gigigil yung mga players niya, excited to finish this third set because they were up by a huge margin a while ago. But against a team like FEU, who is also composed, who is trying to make up for their errors in the first 2 sets, and they're trying to get back into this game, FEU is more hungry, and they're celebrating more, they're talking to each other more, Anton, here in the third set. A big rally for them and their team.
This is now 5 straight points for FEU, and for the first time in this match, Julia Ipak will check in for the Lady Spikers. Ipak did not play in the previous match against UE, and now the FEU fans are chanting FEU. Duremdes flying in to save that ball. Ebon gets the kill for the Lady Tamaraws, and we are tied at 17.
FEU has found their rhythm. Kyle Negrito just distributing that ball perfectly. Carandang has been a game changer for the FEU Lady Tamaraws.
Saga, Cobb, running attack for Julia Ipak. Ebon adjusting her power on that spike. Luna off the block.
Luna.
DLSU needed that point, Anton, from May Luna. Just enough to swipe that ball off the blockers.
But the FEU crowd has come alive. They are chanting FEU, FEU. Ipak, sharp serve. Negrito, Ronquillo. The trust is still there. Carandang tipping it over to the other side. Clemente with a quick attack. It does not work. Ronquillo again.
Ronquillo.
is the rookie repaying the trust of her coach. Just a simple flick of the wrist from the rookie, Elise Ronquillo.
She was kept there despite some struggles in the first and second set. But that point, Anton, that point seals the deal, and that convinces everyone why Coach George keeps her there all throughout the game.
Oh, what a save by Duremdes! And Duremdes, we can see Duremdes wincing in pain a little bit.
Outside.
And after that miss hit, FEU has now overtaken LaSalle. And look at Karandang. She thought it was her turn to serve. And you're really right about how she changed the complexion of this game. She really wants to do everything she can to support her team.
A while ago, she was spiking her own defense. She was playing like a one-man team. Now she's blocking. She's a consistent blocker for FEU and making it hard for the Lady Spikers to score a point.
Ronquillo. Well, that was a very difficult set that Negrito attempted there, Michelle.
Way far from the other side of the court. It was a good set though, Anton. But as an outside hitter, if you are Ronquillo, you have to wait for the setter to put the ball up. You have to have that perfect timing because lahat ng mga gantong bola, Anton, sa'yo talaga pupunta.
Now, both supporters inside the Phil Oil Flying V Center are very much into this match. FEU sensing that they can extend this one. FEU has never been down 0-2 in terms of sets here in season 81. Karandang gets that one in. Cobb. Luna with the approach. Karandang too late to save it.
Very timely substitution by Coach Ramil. Luna scoring 2 points, much needed points for DLSU. Alba was inside a while ago, but Luna coming back in the game, getting points for her team and winning big in those attacks.
Negrito on the second touch, getting crafty.
You cannot give Kyle Negrito room to get that ball across the net. She is very confident as an attacker. Pumapalo pa to minsan, Anton. So kailangan talaga, you have to put up a good block against Kyle Negrito.
FEU back in front again. Domingo wins the joust.
Domingo.
Said Domingo. And of course, we see Mr. Anton Montinola letting out a smile as his team is on top 22-20.
The confidence that FEU has now coming behind 6 points, if I'm not mistaken, Anton. And for the first time in this game, they're ahead against the Lady Spikers. Very, very big points scored right now by the FEU Lady Tamarals.
But Tintin Tiamzon coming through in the clutch. This is a test of character now for both teams, more so for the FEU side, who have been trying to solve this LaSalle puzzle. Malabanan could not get it over, and we are tied at 22-all. And now Coach George Pascua rings the alarm.
Good job. Dumidikit tayo. So, kukuha na natin yung momentum natin. Kapitan nyo lang sa attack. Kapitan nyo lang sa receive. Okay? Para yung momentum, bumalik ulit sa atin. And then, pag nagkabalikan, dito combination ulit. Magbigay ka ng quick mo. Kasi yung dalawa, nandun na kaagad. Hingi sa backline. Ready tayo lahat sa bola. Hingi tayo ng bola, ha? Let's go.
You're right, Michelle. Earlier, LaSalle was up by 6, 17-11. And even though LaSalle just scored 2 straight points, Coach George Pascua told his players, good job. As we see, Mr. Emmanuel Nong Calanog of De La Salle University, and of course, the most stylish executive director of the UAAP, attorney Remo Sagisan. 22 all. Negrito to Malabanan. And that's what I was saying about Michelle Cobb with her timing on the block, helping out Julia Ipak there.
It all starts with a good serve by the DLSU Lady Spikers. And if they get that good serve and put pressure on FEU's reception, hindi ganun kalakas yung mga bolang dadating sa kanila and mababasa nila kung saan magsiset si Kyle Negrito ng bola.
3 straight points now for LaSalle. Malabanan again. And that's on the line for Cherry.
Saga is just entering the court right now for Lourdes Clemente. She wasn't there to help the defenders of DLSU. Jeremy Malabanan, smart, knows that the middle spiker, Lourdes Clemente, is on that defense and just puts that ball long cross court.
Desiree Cheng just got called again. She could come in a few moments. Cobb tossing it up for Tiamzon. Sent back by Domingo and Ebon. Luna pushing it back to the FEU side. Laika Ebon with a hit. De La Cruz gets it back in the air. Negrito. Domingo pushing it to the LaSalle side. Cobb on the second touch. It does not work. Laika Ebon. Saved by Saga, but nobody there to pick it up. FEU is at set point. Laika Ebon tipping it over the 2 blockers. Coming through in the clutch.
Smart move by the rookie, Anton. Just enough power to score a point against the tough defense of DLSU.
Kyle Negrito gets that one in. Cobb. Tiamzon avoiding the blockers. Tiamzon ties the match up. 24 all.
The leadership that Tin Tiamzon is giving her team right now, Anton, you have to commend her for really going up. 1 point down. FEU was already at set point, but her confidence and the confidence of Michelle Cobb to her is just amazing.
Negrito, another difficult set. Laika Ebon rising for the hit. Luna was there. Cobb gives it back to Tiamzon. Duremdes passing it to Negrito. Quick attack for Domingo. That is not over. And LaSalle has arrived at match point. What a recovery.
Kyle Negrito, whenever the ball comes quickly to her and she wants to deliver a good set to her middles, it's kind of falling short, Anton, for her middles such as Carandang and Domingo, who can jump and who has that vertical leap.
Negrito to Ebon. Could not get the proper timing on that attack. And De La Salle University recovers just in time to take set number 3 and sweep FEU.
Back-to-back losses for the Lady Spikers in the past, but back-to-back wins. And they finished that today, Anton. Coming from behind in that third set goes to show how much composure they have. They are showing why they are the defending champions. And credits also to the Lady Tamaraws for coming back into the third set and giving it their best shot.
Desiree Cheng was about to come back in the match again had FEU pushed them further, but Tin Tiamzon came through in the clutch with some excellent marksmanship. What a win for the defending champions. And it's back-to-back wins in straight sets to close out the first round of eliminations.
In the third set, Anton, that big rally by FEU, they were able to manage their errors. And doon lumabas, dun sa last few points na lang na kailangan nila i-close yung third set. They lost with 2 errors, from one attack from Domingo and another attack from Ebon. And that really hurts because walang ginawa yung kalaban. And yun nga, ikaw ang nag-commit ng sarili mong error that cost you the game. But it was a good run for FEU. They were able to come back and bounce back in that third set.
And now, let's hear from
Let us
the
meet
Animo squad.
MG's dynamic player of the match, Tin Tiamzon, 13 points. She just keeps getting better and better. OMG's dynamic player daw.
Ako namili yan. Looking at how she was in today's game, Anton, you know, sitting the first few games of this season and stepping up for her team, filling in such big shoes of the captain, Des Cheng. You have to commend Tin